All right, I'll keep going.
You're the best.
So answering objections. So this is my favorite thing in the whole world to train on, to be honest. I think that the reason I love training on it is I feel like a lot of people think of it as a battle instead of a chance to rebuild your relationship. So when someone gives you an objection, they're also expecting it to be a bit of a battle, right? Like when you tell someone you're not going to go somewhere and they really want you to go out with them or whatever, you expect that they're going to come back and then you're going to have a little bit of a back and forth and you're going to try to win because you really don't want to go to this event or whatever it is. And that's kind of the same space we're in here with Arbonne. A lot of times when people feel like you're asking them, gosh, you should totally do this with me. You'd be so great at it. They stop. No. And then a lot of consultants, I'm sure you know the statistics, but a lot of consultants will never ask again. And we know that the majority of yeses happen in the fourth or fifth ask, sometimes all the way to the ninth ask. So if you get intimidated by the objection, then you're going to miss out on a lot of business that you could really potentially capture and a lot of lives you could potentially change. So we want to use this opportunity of an objection as to really hear the person and have some sensitivity around it, not take it personally, right? And really help them figure out what actually is the question. So this just says answering objections is a great way to build relationships. It shows you care about the other person's concerns. So when someone says, I don't have enough money, sometimes our initial reaction are, well, yeah, but you could put on a credit card or you could do this, or you could do that. I mean, let's take a minute about this fact that this person is concerned about money, right? And let's just take it in for a second, have a little compassion around that. And you'll find that your answering objections gets much, much better when it's not in a challenging space, but in a relational love on them space. It tells you that you respect your prospect and their opinion and that you're open to their perspective. It builds trust, right? This is a trust-based business. So we have to have trust. And can lead to better relationships, loyal clients, and also business builders. Because when people realize how professionally you're handling these things, they're much more inclined to want to be a part of what you do. So what are they asking? So one of the things I think is key is when they are objecting, thinking about what are they actually saying to you. So if they say, I don't have enough money, the question they're really saying, I flip it in my mind, is how could I possibly afford this? How could I fit this into my budget? So when you flip that in your mind, it doesn't sound such a challenge, right? If the objection is, I don't have enough time, you might be thinking, oh, sure you do. We can fit it in the nooks and crannies, but we don't want to think like that. We just want to take it in. How could I possibly fit this into my busy schedule? I'm a new mama. I have twins. I have 2 sets of twins in my organization. Those women don't have a lot of time, and it's legit. So take a minute, breathe it in. Okay. Gosh, I totally get it. The piece that we're going to use to really get there is this method called feel, felt, found. And you guys have probably heard it before. It's not new. It's been a long time selling method and a long time answering objections method, but sometimes we skip it and we go right to the answering of the objection. So if someone doesn't have enough money, we have lots of ways to work around that, right? They want to make it join the business. I can show you how to earn the product. But before we get there, we have to have some empathy. And empathy means putting yourself in their shoes or someone that you know. I totally get it. I hear you, so that's the feel part. I feel you. Oh my gosh, I feel you. I have a couple of women that I work with that have twins and they are so busy. I can't even imagine, right? So you're just relating. And that's the felt part, right? I felt that way too. I know exactly what you're saying. I felt that way before, or my sister felt exactly like that. Oh, you think this is, I'm not going to do it. I think it's a scam. I totally get it. You could just start shouting out facts about MLMs, or you could say, look, I get it. This was a hesitation for me 100%. Now, if it wasn't your hesitation, don't lie. But lots of people that have this hesitation, right? You could definitely say, I talked to this girl, Juliet. She had a huge hesitation around this whole, MLM thing. I totally get it. I feel you, right? I felt that way too. Or my friend Juliet felt that way. Now, here's where it gets really tricky. So a lot of people want to put a but right here between felt and found. And I want to tell you that using the word but just cancels out everything you just did. Okay. Like if I said, Wade, I really like your haircut, but how does that land on Wade? Right? Like, wait a minute, but I mean, that negates everything you just said. So you can't say, but as soon as you say that, you're back in battleground. And I know it seems like the smallest word, but now that I've said it, and now you'll hear people say it and you'll be like, oh, ouch, that doesn't land nice. Instead, you're going to say, one of the things we found, or one of the cool things about Arbonne, or one of the best things that I found for myself So let's go back to struggling with multi-level marketing. I totally get it. I feel you. I felt the exact same way myself. In fact, for about 6 months, I was a hard no to this business because I wasn't interested in anything multi-level marketing. One of the cool things I found as I dug in a little deeper, and then you give the answer to the objection. And then you ask a question to get to the next yes. Would you be open to take a look at this if I can give you a little bit more info about it? So you're always trying to get to the next yes. And that next yes will lead you right down the path. Look at the questions here. Wait a second. You said, wait a second. Sandy, did I miss something?
No, that was my haircut thing.
Oh,
wait a second.
Sorry, I had to pick someone with really good hair so that, I knew you wouldn't be offended. But you can feel it, right? You feel the butt is no good there. And it's the same thing when someone's like, I don't have enough money. Oh gosh, I hear you. I know for a lot of people right now, money is a huge struggle. But, no, one of the cool things we found is it's amazing when you start a business like this, you can get incredible. You can not only pay for your products, but you can also make extra money. Would you be open to hearing about that if I can kind of show you what that would look like for you? That's to the next yes. Any questions about this? So what questions can you answer during your presentation? I like to talk about this too. So if you know, because you've met the person, that money is going to be an issue, or time is going to be an issue, talk about it during your presentation. So when we go back to the presentation that we just went over, if we know that part of the objection is going to be money, then we should focus on the money, right? If we know that part of the objection is going to be time, then we should focus on how we do this in the nooks and crannies of our life. You can answer the objections that are already going to be pretty obvious, right? I answer the objection around multi-level marketing when I talk about there's no quotas. There are many companies out there that require you to buy or spend a certain amount every single month to be a part of their business. We're not going to require that from you. If you decide to take 6 months and step away from your business, you're not going to lose your Arbonne business. It'll still be there when you come back. Like do you see what I'm saying? So you're kind of also have some awareness around what the objection might be and bring it back into your presentation. I do have some examples of these. Do you guys have any objections you want to roll through with this?
Type any objections in the chat, the ones you get the most or you get stuck on the most.
Yeah, any objections you want to kind of work through it. And I think sometimes when you go through a few of them, you're like, okay. Also,
I think I'm so busy. Like everyone is so busy. I think that's one of the main ones.
Okay, good. So I hear you. I totally get it. One of the things that's going on in the world right now is everybody's being pulled from every direction. I totally get it. One of the cool things about Arbonne is you really can do this in the little pieces and pockets of your life. Would you be open to hearing more about it if I can show you what that would look like for you?
Oh my gosh. Yes, I would. Okay. Oh, this is like one of those things, right? Like, isn't this one of those pyramid schemes?
Yes. So pyramid scheme is also one of my favorites. You guys, I've talked to so many grandmothers. Like I talk to people's grandmas all the time that are like all worked up about pyramid schemes. I'm like, listen, get your grandma on the phone. Let me talk to her. It's important that we like hit it head on because people just don't know. First of all, those aren't even legal. But if you just fire back with those aren't legal, they just think we're scammers and they're not even hearing what we're saying, right? They already didn't believe us. They thought we were doing an illegal business. So we have to handle it in the same professional way as all the other ones, which is, oh my gosh, I totally get it. And it's a true story for me. I did not sign up to do this for 6 months because of the pyramid scheme thing. Like nobody wants to be duped. So this is a legit objection for people. And it was for me. And I just had to get to know the girls that were trying to get me to sign up. And then I did it. Like the relationship and the trust was there, right? Even though they told me a million times it wasn't. So I say, oh my gosh, I totally get it. I was a lot of hesitations around this myself. In fact, I talk to people's grandmas all the time because people are struggling with understanding how this multi-level marketing and social selling thing really works. One of the cool things you're going to find out is that all of this is regulated by the FTC. No pyramid schemes don't exist, first of all. And if they do, they get shut down immediately. And they're really about selling inanimate objects. We sell product here at Arbonne. So you're going to find that that's not how that works. I can give you a little bit more information about how this would work if you want to hear, or if you'd be open to hearing a little bit more. And then you can also send out we've got all kinds of documents that explain why it's not a pyramid scheme. If you feel like they need to see something official, I feel like that sometimes is helpful because it's a trust thing. We're in a really tough place, I think, in this country right now where people just don't trust. Everyone thinks everyone's trying to dupe them. And some people have been duped by weird things. So you can't even blame them, right? So it's not getting defensive, not getting upset about it, but just starting to build a relationship around it so that people believe you when you're telling them the truth.
Yeah, I get it, but this like, okay, this it's cool, but this makes sense for you, but I'm not a salesperson. I could never do this.
Oh my gosh, I totally get you. And actually I have a sales background, so I wouldn't say I'm not a salesperson. I would not say that, but I would say I work with so many people that have no interest in selling things and have no sales background. One of the best parts about what we do here is it's just sharing what you love, kind of the way you told your friend last week that you love that restaurant. It's really that. You're much more a shares person than a salesperson. And honestly, people that are true and not salesy do way better. So you'll actually probably find yourself doing better than people that are salespeople. I think you'll love it. If I could show you what it would look like for you, would you take a look?
So good. Okay, but I don't know enough people. I don't really use social media. Like I couldn't do this.
Yeah, I totally get it. Social media is a struggle for me too. I'm sure you've seen my social media page, not strong. One of the cool things about Arbonne is that there's all these resources available to you and you can build it the way you want to build it. So nobody has to use social media, but if you love social media, you can. Would you be open to me showing you some of the different ways that people build their business?
So good. Okay, last one I see. Yeah, no, this seems cool, but like I don't just only want to use one brand.
Oh my gosh, I totally get it. I wouldn't expect that you would just use one brand. You can use all the brands you want. One of the cool things, I think a lot of people feel that way. In fact, a lot of people represent different brands. So there's no problem with any of that. One of the things that I think really helps people is to make sure that their brands are all in line with their values. I think having multiple brands is totally great, especially if they all line up with your value system. And I think based on what I've seen on your social media or whatever you're going to say, that our brand aligns with your values. And that's all I think that really matters. Want me to show you what that would look like for using multiple brands?
Boom, mic drop. Okay, this is actually the last one I see. All right, I've tried these things before and they just aren't for me.
Oh my gosh, I get it. I work with a lot of people that have tried a lot of different ones. In all honesty, I probably would ask next what brands. Like I probably would want to know that. But you don't have to say that. You could just move on through it and be like, I totally get it. I work with a lot of people that have struggled with that exact same thing. One of the cool things that we do that I think you're going to find is very different is you're going to have full support the whole way through. Your success is my success. So this call that you were on today, I'm going to help you duplicate that for other people. So it's not like you have to go out there and do it yourself. You're just pointing me to the people in the beginning so that I can help you begin. And I think that most people that I work with that have been with other brands are blown away by how much more support and tools that we have that they didn't have in their other companies. So I think I want to take a look at least what those tools look like.
Juliet, thank you so much.
You're a professional, ripping through
Yeah.
the objections.
Just no hesitation. And we can all be that good. It just takes practice, exercise.
And believe me, you're all really good at the answers. Just remember, you've got to package it in something that is like, hey, we're friends. We'll figure this out together. This is not a battle. It's not me versus you. This is a friendly chance for you to really hear someone's pain in some cases. Like I'm too busy can be a pain point for people, right? So taking their pain and turning it into trust and building a relationship and honoring it, not lying about things that aren't true. Don't say, you're this or you're that. If it's not true, just give them your truth. That's all they want is for someone to be honest and give them their truth. Also, one last tip, silence is not an objection. So when people say nothing, don't take that as an objection and means that they don't want to talk to you anymore. Just keep on talking till they buy, die, or tell you to go away. Right, Sandy? I think you're the first person that might have ever told me that. At Linda, when I was being trained by you at Linda Parker.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
All right, you guys. Well, I'll hop off your team call. Thanks for having me, Wade. And
Thank you so
Sandy.
much.
It was so great to be here. Wade has all these materials, so anything you
Yep.
want, feel free. I'm sure he'll send them to you. And thanks for having me, guys.
Yes, thank you, Juliet.
Thank
Have
you,
a great rest of
Juliet.
your day.
Thanks. Bye.
You guys, I met Juliet